I know what you guys are thinking. Did I get the popcorn bucket? Well, I didn't get the popcorn bucket. I don't even know if the popcorn bucket is available in Canada. But what I can tell you is that I saw Dune Part Two, and it was awesome. I loved the first one. I'm a Dune fan from back when the sci-fi series was on. Up here in Canada, it was on the Space Channel, but I remember watching that and Children of Dune way back in the day, and I was a huge fan of that. I love the world. I love especially what Denis Villeneuve has done with it, and I was super excited to see this one, like the second part of his movies, and it was great. It was awesome. It was everything that I expected. It had the same sort of slow build vibe that the first one did, but it got into some pretty intense action this time around. And those action sequences were incredible, mind-blowing stuff. And every single shot, just like the first one, was beautiful, like just exquisitely crafted. This is what going to movies is all about, right? And the box office from this past weekend just goes to show that everybody else, I think, is really excited to get back into theaters for stuff like this. It's been a soft box office the last few weeks. There really hasn't been that much to be excited about. Obviously, Madam Web came out. That is kind of an experience by itself, but not really, I think, what a lot of us are looking for at the movies right now. But Dune Part 2, it is, I mean, big stars, incredible special effects. The score is one of the best, just one of the best. It doesn't get much better than this when it comes to movie music, and it is part of the experience. I mean, so much of the sound, so much of the audio is the music in this movie, but just the mix in general. Didn't even see it in that big of a theater, not on that big of a screen, but it was still, the sound is what gets you into it with these ones, which is always the case with Denis Villeneuve's movies. I think Blade Runner 2049 was very similar, Arrival as well. The sound is such a big part of it, and he uses it in a way that not a lot of filmmakers, I think, really manage to capture, creating a soundscape and a vibe and a feeling that takes you into that world. But Dune Part 2 definitely does that. It definitely gets you there. The sound is all-encompassing. It's engrossing. And it just, it kind of hits you at times. There's a few moments in this movie that it will, like, it'll smack you in the face with the audio. So I can only imagine what it would be like in IMAX or Dolby Atmos if you've got access to that. But unfortunately I don't. So I just saw it in a standard theater on actually a fairly small screen. And I was still blown away by it. And of course, the performances, just like the first one, they're incredible. I mean, Timothée Chalamet, he's really making a name for himself in the last few years. I really enjoyed Wonka. I don't know about everybody else, but I really had a lot of fun with that. So going from that, actually the last movie that I saw in the theater, into this, he does both incredibly well. He can play that silly character, but he can also play this very serious character. And then of course, you know, we've got Christopher Walken coming in this one as the Emperor, and yeah, I mean, so incredible. But a lot of the returning performances, Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen still steals the movie. But Austin Butler kind of comes in and wrecks it, wrecks in a good way. He's a good bad guy. He's got the vibe that you need for a villain in this series. Just really unlikable, and I mean, like, just a terrifying thing to look at. A very scary villain. So great. But I'm gonna say Javier Bardem is the standout for me in this one. He has a real tough job because he's playing a religious fanatic, but they've given him a lot of the comedic beats. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but trust me, it works. And he crushes in this movie. Stilgar is a standout character, so good. And then Josh Brolin coming in, returning again, so good. So the two of them actually play off of each other quite a bit, and it's really fun to see. So if you haven't seen it yet, no spoilers in this review, obviously. Go check it out. The only thing I'll say that's maybe a little bit spoilerish, it does once again end a little bit cliffhangery, but that's the source material where we end Dune with. I mean, like, there are follow-ups. There's Dune Messiah and Children of Dune. So Denis Villeneuve has not talked about doing more after this, but by the time that I post this review, maybe he'll have changed his mind. I know that the studio will definitely want to be making more Dune movies in the future to capitalize on this success, because it's doing really well. So hopefully that means we'll get Dune Messiah, or maybe they'll call it Dune Part 3. More than likely, a bunch of executives will land on Dune Part 3 : Messiah. There's 2 colons in there somewhere, but we'll have to sit back and wait and see what comes of any more potential Dune sequels. But for now, go check out Dune Part 2 in theaters, and enjoy yourself. And if you can, maybe get the popcorn bucket. I hear it's pretty interesting. That's it for this review. Thanks for watching, and stay frosty.